Okay, guys. So
Okay.
moving on.
Oh, I heard about this.
This shit is getting wild. Hi, and welcome to the SaVeg Podcast.
I'm Rose, also known as Cheap Lazy Vegan on YouTube.
And I'm Daniel, one of your favorite guest stars on Cheap Lazy Vegan's YouTube channel.
We're two friends who love to talk about the latest trending topics.
So get comfortable and join us while we give our savage take on just about everything.
You are currently listening to the previous episode of this podcast, but if you would like to listen to this week's episode and get some exclusive content, go over to patreon.com/thesavagepodcast.
Hello, everyone.
Why are you being awkward as
I
hell?
don't know. And welcome back to this week's episode of the SaVeg Podcast.
Hi, guys.
Our last
Episode, timely episode
timely
for the
episode
next
for
few
a
weeks.
while. Yeah.
Just for a couple weeks.
Yeah.
Yes.
Rose is gone again, guys.
Lord Jesus, take the wheel.
She leaves tomorrow.
I leave tomorrow morning, people.
Yeah. So it's kind of crazy.
It's been a bit fucking insane.
Yeah.
But yes, I'm leaving on another little trip.
Excursion. Yeah.
A little trip.
Leaving me all behind.
Oh, god damn. I don't know how people travel a lot. Like, no, I like traveling. Don't get me wrong. But just the back to back, it's
a
not
lot.
fun. Like I need some time to like adjust back to real life.
Well, and some people travel like so much.
I
Like,
can't do it.
for work and stuff. They'll be like
That's
gone
the worst.
every day of the week, practically back for a day, back gone for a day. Like,
And those are the worst, like the corporate ones. Like traveling corporate, no.
yeah.
I mean, although you probably stay in nice hotels, but still.
You would stay nice hotels, and you probably you would get lots of points and stuff, so you could get
But
free trips later.
oh
But
god.
it's just like, and I know I'm gonna sound really old saying this, guys, but like it breaks up your routine a lot.
Yes.
So it's like, because right now you kind of get into a routine. You go, okay, I go to the gym this day, I do this,
Catch up on things.
I catch up on this day. This day's my like laundry day, and then if it's like you're gone all the time,
Yeah.
it's like throws everything like out the window, and you're like, oh fuck, like.
And you have to take care of things when you're back. So then you're like rushed. So anyways, I should not be complaining.
no, definitely not.
I'm lucky to be able to go on this trip.
Definitely.
Check out my Instagram if you want to see where I'm at. Because I will be posting on there.
Oh, God damn.
And it's I'll be gone for another like 2.5 weeks.
Woo!
Fun times.
Yay!
Anyway, so the next couple of episodes will be pre-recorded.
Yep.
And, back by popular demand, we did what do we do, Daniel?
We did Am I the Asshole? Although some people, one particular listener did think that we're going the easy route, and we're doing what was it, quote, lazy content?
Yes.
So some more lazy content coming your way, guys.
Lazy content coming your way.
Yeah.
We pre-recorded those already, so stay tuned for those.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we're just doing that so that like we don't have to do another break to the podcast. We already did that in June. We're not doing that to you again, guys.
Yes.
So we're going to continuing on.
Exactly. So
I'll be left behind in Rose's. Rose will just leave me behind in a trail of dust, and I will be left to kind of pick up the pieces.
Well, Daniel, you could have done the solo episodes.
No, never again. No, it's
People
all never
liked your
again.
solo
I know
episodes.
everyone was so nice. Thank you, guys. It's very not awkward, but it is a little bit awkward
It
because
is a bit
like
awkward.
at least here I have the Rose to kind of feed off of, and then I have like kind of the camera, but like. When you're by yourself, it was very uncomfortable. And I had all these stories, and I went through them so fast.
It's so funny.
I looked at the time. I'm like, oh my God, it's only 26 or I think
you
it was
were
like
just-
30 minutes.
I thought you used to, having conversations by yourself, Daniel.
I'm not. Contrary to popular belief, Royce.
You do feed off of conversation? Okay.
I don't. It takes.
I could recall a few times when you just went on and on and on without me really contributing much.
That's probably happened a few times, but it wasn't while I was being recorded. That's for sure.
Also, it's the recording aspect.
Yeah.
That's the scary part.
It just
Fair
feels a bit-
enough.
It just feels a bit weird,
God damn, you'd be tired.
God damn it.
Today is Canadian Thanksgiving.
Yes, happy Thanksgiving to all the Canadians, guys.
Woo! Although this is a bit late, so
Yeah.
you would have celebrated already.
Exactly.
Hopefully you had a nice tofurkey.
Do you remember our Canadian Thanksgiving in London?
Oh my God, we like went all out.
We did, yeah.
And here we're just like meh.
It's funny because I actually feel like I did more Thanksgiving stuff when I was in the UK.
We did more just Canadian things in general.
Yeah, like
Canada Day, for example.
Oh my God.
In Canada, there's like nothing going on.
Well, I mean, I think it depends where you are. Because I think in Ottawa, I think there's a big party and stuff.
Oh yeah, maybe in Ottawa, but like in Calgary, it's like so fucking boring.
Yeah, Calgary's not.
Calgary's just boring. Like people don't do things here.
No, I think maybe they have some fireworks or something.
They have fireworks, but it's
Yeah.
like fireworks like are a little,
But
like I've seen fireworks. I know how they work.
Yeah, in London, it's like a huge
It's
thing.
huge. I think it's because like when you're living abroad, you just kind of like, you get more patriotic.
Well, you do. And also, it was funny. I was like talking to someone at the gym today, right after my class.
Oh, look at you being
and
social at the gym.
sometimes.
Okay.
And she was just mentioning she's like not from here. And she's like, yeah, me and my friends are doing like a Friendsgiving today.
Oh, see,
and
that's
I was
nice.
like, oh my God, that's like what we did when we were in London.
I know, because it's like when you're living again away from your family as well, then like your friends are your family.
Exactly.
So it makes sense.
It's kind of nice, and it gives you that
I
element.
know.
And I remember because I went to a few Canada Days when I was in London.
Yeah.
I didn't go to all of them, but I went to a few, and honestly, some of them were so crazy. This one that I went to, because there was like this street.
Did they do it in Trafalgar Square?
I
think they did it one time in Trafalgar Square.
I think there's like part of it, but
Okay.
like what I remember being the main thing is that
Covent Garden.
you know that street, yeah, it's close to Covent Garden, that has the 2 Canadian bars.
Oh, there's 2 Canadian bars. I thought there was just the Maple Leaf.
Maybe it's just the Maple Leaf, but I think the other one, the Porterhouse or something.
Oh, that's not a Canadian bar, but it's like right next to it.
Yeah.
So I think they participate. Yeah.
Yeah. So then there's like this street, and literally the full street was closed off. It was like just full of people.
Yeah.
And there was a
I remember
guy
that.
with a Canadian flag tied to a hockey stick running up and down the street. Everyone is getting crazy. I was like, what is even
So
going on
ridiculous.
right now? Yeah. That's where we actually met a lot of people though too.
Yeah, we met people on Canada Day.
Yeah.
See, again, like in Canada, like I mean, at least here, people don't really give a shit.
No, they're just like,
But then
whatever.
outside of Canada, it's like, ooh, I'm Canadian, woohoo!
Yeah, and then you meet more Canadians, like, because you are all having that same experience, like living abroad, and
I
like,
think it's funny though because I feel like in America they think like 4th of July is like a big deal.
well, they do. I think 4th
Yeah.
of July is like,
I feel
you
like we're
know,
less like patriotic than Americans. though.
probably.
Canadians are just like meh.
Like, oh, Canada Day, happy Canada Day.
Yeah. Like
But
literally nothing happened this Canada Day. There was like a firework.
I wasn't here.
See, like nobody cares.
Mhm.
I was here and nothing happened.
Yeah.
Where were you? You were in London.
I was in.
Oh goddamn.
I was in a festival in Scotland.
Oh goddamn.
Living
Did
my
you
best
celebrate
life.
Canada
No, but
Day?
you know what? I'm so sad at, guys. I really wish I did this. It's like a festival foul. Okay.
You didn't bring a Canadian flag.
Yes.
Oh,
And I saw some other people running around with
Shame.
like Brazil flags and like
For
all this stuff,
shame,
and
Daniel.
I was like, oh my God, because like they're probably, because it was like a very
Niche?
small
Yeah.
niche festival. I would put money on it. Like I was probably one of the only Canadians there.
Right.
There might have been a few others, but like I would have just like run around with a Canadian flag.
so you could get all the attention.
Yeah. next year I'm supposed to go to another festival, so I will wear my Canadian flag.
Yeah, it's important. You got to get
Yeah.
that Canadian attention.
I have one. So I'll
People
just,
love
like,
the
tie it up.
Canadians.
Mm-hmm.
They do.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Next time.
Yeah. Next time,
Next
guys.
time.
Next time.
Anyway, guys, let's get on to the story.
Well, before we get into stories, guys.
Patreon shout outs.
Exactly. If you haven't already, you should check out our Patreon page, guys. It's patreon.com/the SaVeg Podcast. It starts as little as $3 per month, and you get access to all of our exclusive content. And we do an exclusive episode every single month. That's just for the Patreon community.
Yeah.
Also, you get all the content ad-free and a week earlier than everyone else. So you get the episodes a lot more in a much more timely fashion. And also, you get a shout out.
Yeah.
So
And
who are we shouting out to today,
So
Rose?
this month or this week, we're shouting out to Taylor, who recently joined our Patreon.
Hi, Taylor.
Thank you, Taylor. So yeah, if you want your little name shouted out,
Yep.
then join Patreon.
Exactly. Join it. And then you get also access to the huge library now
Oh my
of all the
god,
exclusive
we have
episodes.
so many
guys.
exclusive episodes, so you can just go back and listen to all of them.
Mhm.
Anyways, all right, shall we get on to the stories?
We-
What's going on in
we-
this beautiful world of ours?
What is going on? Okay,
what in God's name is going on?
so I don't know if you've heard about this drama.
I feel like I kind of heard, but I don't know what's going on.
Okay.
So first of all, Bad Bunny literally heard this dude's name like probably last month, and then now I can't stop hearing his name.
How have you only heard about him last month?
I don't. I'm an old lady and I don't listen to
Also,
modern music.
probably because number one, my flatmate in London was like obsessed with like reggaeton music.
Yeah,
And he's like a really big artist in the reggaeton community.
Bad Bunny is.
yeah.
Right.
And also I lived in Spain like for a little while.
Yeah. So you're into that.
And all of his songs were played. Like
Oh.
he's a huge artist. Like,
Right. Yes.
Like massive.
But I feel like he's becoming like maybe I'm wrong, but like I feel like now he's becoming more popular in the non-Spanish speaking world. No?
Potentially. I don't know. Maybe
or I'm living under a rock, guys.
I think that you might be living under a little bit of a rock because he's like a pretty like he's like a Daddy Yankee or
I didn't even know who that was until you mentioned
you're
him.
under a rock.
See, I'm just an old lady. Okay, now I'm at the stage where I literally listen to songs that are like 10 plus years old. Anyway, continue.
So it came out recently. I guess Bad Bunny, he's released a new single. And there was also like it was kind of like a documentary / like a music video kind of thing that he did.
Yeah.
And he is from Puerto Rico. So Puerto Rico is like this island that is like owned by the US or this.
Yeah, it's kind of controversial.
Like, I don't really know the full story to it, guys, but like the US like kind
it's
of
very controversial.
It is controversial. But you're technically like if you live in Puerto Rico, you're still like a US
It's US
citizen.
land, I think.
Exactly.
Yes.
So it's like you're still part of the US. The interesting thing is, and I didn't know this, and again, I don't know.
So Bad Bunny is from Puerto Rico.
Yeah, so he's from Puerto Rico. He grew up there. He's from there. That's actually where a lot of, I think Daddy Yankee was from Puerto Rico.
Right.
Like Nicky Jam is from there.
Oh,
like
okay.
a bunch of these like reggaeton artists that like I'm pretty sure they all came from this kind of from Puerto Rico.
Right.
So essentially, what the news is in this video, I guess Bad Bunny like pokes fun of, or is just kind of like getting sick of, and I think this might be an overall sentiment in Puerto Rico, guys, is there's a lot of people moving there because of favorable tax treatments.
Right. Like
So,
a lot of Americans are moving there.
Exactly.
Sure.
So a lot of like, wealthy Americans will move there because there is this like a kind of like a tax. You get taxed less, I guess. From my understanding, I think there was like, I don't know the full like tax legislation or whatever, but where was it here? It says, it allows, so there's a controversial tax break. Apparently it's called Act 22. I don't really know too much about it, guys, but it allows residents to avoid paying capital gains tax on things such as cryptocurrency, stocks, and real estate.
Lord.
So it's a way that if that's like your residence, you can kind of, it's a legal loophole to pay tax. So I guess
avoid paying tax.
To avoid paying tax. Yeah. So I guess what happened was he like called out like a couple people, like I think Logan Paul might have been like a snippet of him in the video as people that had moved to Puerto Rico.
He's in the video.
Yeah.
So Bad Bunny made a video, which is kind of like a documentary almost.
Yeah.
It's basically his music video. El Apagón.
Right here, release the 20 minute on along with his El Apagón. I don't even know.
Right. So it's kind of like a music video, or whatever it is, a documentary with his music video.
How the artists do those like documentary movie kind of things with their videos?
Okay, yeah. Like so he kind of like did this like documentary talking about this problem, and he featured, it looks like Logan Paul
makes a brief appearance.
Right.
The influencer previously named tax incentives as one of the reasons for him to move in 2021 to the island.
Sure. Okay, continue.
So anyway, Logan Paul has come out and he's like, this is really hypocritical of Bad Bunny because he is taking advantage of those same tax laws from Puerto Rico.
Okay.
Because this is his take on it or whatever. My argument here, guys, I don't think any of it's good, to be honest. But at the end of the day, like I think that, we always talk about this in the podcast, like the red herring.
Yeah.
First of all, okay, sorry. What are your thoughts on this?
Okay, wait a second. So Logan Paul is saying that Bad Bunny is being hypocritical. Yeah. So because Bad Bunny is also doing that? Is that why? He
said that, but technically, I would argue that Bad Bunny isn't doing that because he was already a resident of Puerto Rico.
Okay, so it says here that basically, Philip DeFranco apparently reported on this.
He interviewed.
He interviewed. Okay,
yeah, I saw the interview.
Oh, so this is when Logan Paul said this whole thing.
No, yeah, basically he said this in the interview, yeah.
So, apparently, Logan Paul said it was hypocritical of Bad Bunny to make a documentary critical of foreign investment in Puerto Rico, claiming that he also takes advantage of the same tax law as him. And then, so apparently he said Bad Bunny is a Puerto Rican living in Puerto Rico who is privately taking advantage of the same tax program that he is publicly condemning. So I see this music video has stuck me in the middle of it, surrounded by context that makes me look like a vulture in Puerto Rico. So basically, but then a lot of people are saying that Paul was wrong in his claims about Bad Bunny's tax status as a native Puerto Rican who lives on the island. He wouldn't be eligible for the same tax incentives reserved for wealthy foreigners such as Paul. So
it's quite controversial.
So basically, Logan Paul's wrong.
Yeah. But I like my take on this
Right.
is, again, like, I think either way, you know, it's not great. I think even if Bad Bunny was or is somehow taking some kind of tax advantage for being in Puerto Rico,
Sure.
I feel like he's more justified in a sense. He was
Yes.
born and raised there, like he lives there,
Yes.
versus somebody from the outside coming in to live there to take advantage of that, because that was one of his reasons for moving there. But at the same time, guys, I'm
It's
like,
legal.
exactly. This is where I am like, you know what? It's not great. Logan Paul did this for a reason, but it's a legal move that he did, right?
Yeah.
So my pushback to the people in Puerto Rico that are getting pissed off at this, and
Which
all,
I understand.
totally 100%. You're coming and moving here, and you're not paying tax, and you're using our
Especially
services.
if the residents don't get that.
Exactly.
That's fucked.
My pushback on that would be like, this is and this is like worldwide, these like tax havens that exist.
Yeah, they're everywhere.
That's on governments.
Yeah.
Governments need to not make these legal loopholes, right? Like, why is there this tax advantage for being in Puerto Rico? Like, those are the things, the discussion that need to be had. Instead of having your anger placed on Logan Paul, who has taken advantage of this legal loophole, get mad at the people that created the legal loophole.
Right.
And say, hey guys, like, we don't want this to be a thing anymore where, people can just come here, live here, and not pay tax.
Right. Like
or pay less tax.
I do think there is obviously a certain level of like morality, I guess, in terms of doing this kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Like, just because we can do it doesn't necessarily mean we should.
Mm-hmm.
For example, veganism comes to mind, like, sure, we should blame corporations, but at the same time, I do think there's individual potential responsibility.
Of course.
But at the same time, it's like, I don't know, man. He's just, in his mind, he's just buying a home. It's a good investment.
Exactly. And the thing is with this too, I'm wondering, does the law stipulate, like, for example, could I buy a place in Puerto Rico, say it's my permanent residence, but only be there for like a week of the year, and the rest of the year be
right
living somewhere else?
Right. And
you
then
know
just
what I mean?
not paying taxes.
Exactly.
God damn.
Like, who knows, right? Like, this is all questions to be had. And again, the big thing is this legal loophole, like, should it exist or not? Like, that's the real question, is like, and it's because Logan Paul was like leaving California because he didn't want to pay all the California taxes, because apparently it's quite high there. But at the same time, I'm like, this is just like the frustrating thing. And it feeds that whole idea of that we need to give tax breaks all the time.
Yeah.
Because they're like, oh, if we don't give tax breaks, and we're seeing this in California, people are going to move to lower tax states, which actually is true. We're seeing this happen. But then I'm like, well, then those lower tax states need to raise their, what I mean? It needs to be a level playing field, right?
Yeah.
Like, there shouldn't be these loopholes that incentivize. And like, Logan Paul is a small part of the problem. Like, think about these huge corporations that have like shell companies on offshore, like
that's
in the Bahamas and shit.
He's
and it's
just
like,
a public figure.
Exactly.
This is like a tiny percentage of the problem.
Oh yeah, and his net worth, although probably high, it doesn't even scratch the surface of what
these multi-billion-dollar
like,
billionaires.
Exactly. Like I was watching this thing on TikTok, and they were like drawing out this company and how they're able to like create a shell company in this other area, divert profits to this shell company somehow, and like doing all this like magical stuff. And then in the end, they like pay like no tax.
Yeah.
And I'm like, but yet they're operating in like a country like Canada, for example.
Exactly.
And I'm like, that's where there needs to be more regulation and stipulation to be like, you're not allowed to do that.
Yeah.
Like,
and that's even worse. Like, there's all these, I don't know what he's doing, but I don't think he's smart enough to have all these loopholes or whatever. He's just moved to fucking Puerto Rico.
Yeah.
But other companies, like, again, other very rich people have people that literally do this as a job, where they have to like find all the loopholes. And then they have, like you said, a shell company here, a shell company there. And then everything's like, and it's like, that's worse, because you're kind of like, sure, it's legal, quote unquote, but you're like really going through all the fucking, you're going through all of the, different methods. Like, it's not very like, I'm just going to move to a different,
Well, and it gets so complicated, because they were saying like some people or some companies will have all of these shell companies.
Yeah.
So many of them in all these different places that you can't actually trace. It's really difficult to trace beneficial ownership.
This is what I'm saying. Just pay your fucking tax. I don't understand these people.
I know, because no one wants to pay it.
Like, what I'm saying is, though, like we talked about before, it's like, how much money do you need, man? Like,
exactly.
Is it worth this much trouble? Do you even know where the fucking money is at this point?
Well, this is the crazy thing. And like,
it's so insane. There's literal, I saw this TikTok.
Yeah.
And it reminded me of our conversation, because we already had this conversation where we're like, if I was like a multimillionaire or even a billionaire, if I was a billionaire, I'm not fucking working.
Yeah.
I'm going to chill. Like, what the hell is wrong with these people? And then one of the video I saw, he was like, it baffles my mind that there are billionaires that are still trying to make more money.
I know it is actually crazy.
But then I think it is worth noting that it's at that point it's beyond money for them. Like it's a power. It's, I don't know if they get addicted to it. Like it's so sad actually.
It is really sad.
They can't even enjoy having billions of dollars.
Exactly. Like this is that's actually crazy. And when you think about it conceptually, because obviously we're all working right now because we don't have billions of dollars and we have bills to pay.
Yes.
We have things that
we have to like retire at some point.
Exactly. We're trying to save money for retirement, create that nest egg. But like, you're right. If I started a company and I like somehow became a billionaire, and again, I guess it's easier said than done because I'm probably never going to be in this situation. But if I was, I feel like if I've made my billions or my millions, even my hundreds of millions, like I don't know what my number is, but like it's not that high, to be honest.
It's not that high.
Once I hit that number, like in my mind, I'm like,
you're retiring.
Exactly. I just want to enjoy life now. I'll take up a shitload of hobbies and stuff, and I'll be probably more busy than when I was working.
Yes.
But I'll be doing stuff that I enjoy. I'll be like doing yoga and like all this other stuff, and not working. I don't understand. I don't get these people. Like even like I think it was my grandma or someone that pointed this out to me the other day. They were like, even like the presidents and stuff, like Joe Biden.
Okay,
he's like in his 70s.
He is
I'm like,
senile.
I know. I'm
he's
like,
almost 80.
I'm like, why are you not enjoying your retirement?
I will never understand. I'm like, buddy.
Yeah.
Seriously, when Donald Trump and Joe Biden were like running, I was like, what is like? Listen, not to be ageist.
Yeah.
But like, there's a part of me that's like, there should be a maximum age for like a president. Because like, you don't have much time left, buddy. We're worrying about the future,
exactly.
honey. Well, okay.
But that's part of it. It's like also though, like, and this is again, different types of people, right? But like, yeah, you have these billionaire people still working for more money, still going for it. I'm
politicians.
Like, and then these like, or people that are like super old. Yes. That I'm like, do you not want to retire? Like, do you not want to just relax and enjoy like life?
But he's been working since he was like probably 20.
I know. It blows my mind. It's not it's not that I'm like, I wouldn't consider myself lazy, but like I want to enjoy life as well. And I think work is, I'm the kind of person that like, I look at work as like, I work to enjoy life.
Yes.
If I don't have to work anymore for X number of reasons, I'm old and I'm retired, or like I have a lot of money.
Yeah.
Then I'm going to just enjoy my life. Exactly. I'm not going to do the work part of it. Like,
I don't understand. Like, I genuinely cannot understand for the life of me. Like, Joe Biden, like, much respect to you, but holy shit.
Yeah.
I do not understand why you don't want to be retired.
I know.
Why you want to run for president. Like, president cannot be an easy job, especially at that age. Like, Buddy looks like he's about to fall asleep every single time I'm watching an interview with him. I don't get it. But anyway, different strokes for different folks.
That's just it. And
I'm just like trying to find a way to retire as early as possible.
I know, me too. I'm like, I'm just gonna try keep putting money in my RRSP. Like, I want to get to a point like hopefully I can be like, what are they calling it now?
Or even just partially like employed is okay.
That's exactly, they're calling it FIRE now. Have you heard of this?
Something retire early. What's the
financial independence, retire early.
Yes, FIRE. Financial independence.
I'm subscribing to FIRE, guys.
Have you been looking at videos about FIRE lifestyle?
I haven't, but I'm going to. I'm gonna delve into that and just see like what
in this
things
economy, Daniel.
I know, that's the thing. Like, I'm like,
we'd be lucky if we retire at 60.
I know. I was like thinking about it. I was like looking at like my investments and stuff, and I'm like, yeah, okay, like early retirement's not gonna happen for me.
Nope.
Because they also say too, like when you get into investing, like the first couple years of returns are so important, and if they're really not great, it can like impact things later.
Shut
obviously,
the fuck up. So basically, we're fucked.
Yeah.
Because basically, I started investing in the beginning of the pandemic, and at first, it was looking great.
Yeah.
Like, ooh, it's all going up. It's all going up. It went up and up and up, and all of a sudden, in the last few months, just been in the red.
Yeah. But have you lost more than what you put in?
Yes.
Me too.
I officially have.
I have too.
Significantly more. I mean, I don't know if it's significant, but like. Yeah.
But I think everyone's in the same boat, right?
It's like, just, that's insane to me because that's how much like this, I don't know. I don't know how I feel about this whole investing thing. It went up, like significantly went up.
Yeah.
Okay. And then now it's in the red. That means I lost whatever the hell it was up.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying? Like, so not only did I lose that whatever portion, and then it went down.
Yeah.
So it's not even just like it went down like this. It was like,
But like long term, they always say long term.
Oh God, we don't know how long we're gonna live.
I know, this is true.
Anyway, yes, they say long term, long term.
So hopefully it will bounce back.
But like, how long is it gonna be? Because it just keeps going like this in the last few years.
Yeah.
Remember pandemic it was like so just to crawl back up, it took a while.
That's true.
And then now it's gonna take a while to go back.
This is very true.
Do you like my
I love it.
So anyway, Puerto Rico, guys, let us know if
Yeah.
anyone like
What are your
knows much
thoughts
about
on this, guys? About
I mean, I think
foreigners?
it's fucked up.
It is.
Whatever's happening in Puerto Rico is fucked.
It's not good, right? Like
It's not good.
but
They are not happy. Puerto
No.
Ricans are not happy.
And I would be just as pissed as they are. Like
Is it like similar to like a Hawaii situation?
I don't know.
Because Hawaii, like Hawaii, technically it's United States, but
Yeah.
is it?
Yeah.
Is it really?
I know it's kind of weird.
It's really fucked up.
But these again, these tax shelters and these tax havens that are legal loopholes, we can't get mad at, like, we can kind of get mad at people for doing it because it is the more, like you said, the moral thing. But at the end of the day, like, they're doing what's technically legal and they're allowed to do it. So it's more, let's get less mad at or let's redirect our focus to actually the policymakers and stuff to say, guys, like, this is not acceptable anymore. Like, we don't want foreigners moving here and just to be, you know, tax shelters and not bring any business or anything to Puerto Rico, you know? Like, it's just, that's not okay. Because they always argue like these things are in place to like increase like businesses and like all this stuff, but it doesn't, I don't know if it necessarily seems to happen. It's like that whole idea of trickle down economics. Like, it just never works.
So stupid.
So, and I feel like tax breaks are a lot of the same thing. And interestingly, a lot of these people that are companies that go for these tax breaks are like the first in line to like go for tax handouts as well.
Totally.
I know that there's a huge, I think there's one in Canada as well, actually. I think there's an ongoing investigation happening right now because in Canada, there was a program that was released for companies to take advantage of.
Okay.
Whereby, like, if you were impacted by COVID and you, instead of having to like lay people off, you could like supplement their wage.
Yes.
With some government support.
Yes.
Right. So then you're not having to fork out their full wage. You can like subsidize it. But the government, I guess it's turned out that there's quite a few companies that utilize that program that really shouldn't have.
Oh, snap.
I'm not going to name and shame them, but again, it just shows you, and
snap.
I could almost put money on it, guys. These would be the same companies that would be advocating for tax cuts.
Right.
It's like you can't have your cake and eat it too.
Yeah. Yeah.
God
totally.
damn.
So anyway, Logan Paul, I mean, probably still a dick, but you know.
Yeah. Okay, guys. So moving on.
Oh, I heard about this.
This shit is getting wild.
Okay, guys. So in Europe, shit's hitting the fan.
It is really. So we've already talked about this a little bit. So we talked about it more so on the UK lens, but as probably everybody knows by now, is that UK energy prices, or the energy prices across Europe, have been skyrocketing. They've been going through like the roof, and there's like it doesn't seem to be slowing down. It keeps like increasing. They're saying next year there's going to be another huge increase, and we're not talking like 10-15%. We're talking like 200% on energy bills, right? So like people's bills are literally like doubling, or like even doubling and a half. Like, it's getting wild there, right? And I want to actually find a more recent article.
That's actually crazy. So basically right now what's happening is people are pissed, which they should be. Not just pissed, but they're like, you know, on the verge of not being able to survive. You know what I'm saying? So basically there are protests all over Europe currently. That's what's happening. Apparently,
like, there was a huge protest in Germany.
Yeah.
Like, thousands of people were marching against this whole like protesting the energy. And I heard, I don't know if it's just in Germany, but like a few other countries, there's like this symbolic thing that's happening where people are like burning their energy bills. And they're basically saying like, we're not going to pay this. Like, this is going to be our form of protest.
What are they going to do? Are they going to shut it off then?
Well, I don't know what's going to happen.
Fucking hell.
This is the crazy thing.
That's scary.
Yeah.
I'm all for the people, but I'm just scared that they're going to shut off all the energy.
Yeah. It's just nuts. It's like, actually...
Well, it's insane. What do they expect people to do?
Mm-hmm.
They can't hike it up that much.
I know. Well, this is and again, I'm like, is a lot of it, is it because this is how much it's costing?
No, I don't think so. I think like there's definitely things that they could do.
Mm-hmm. Well, this is part of the argument, guys. We talked about this in the UK that was made. Why people in the UK in particular, I don't know about Germany and these other countries, but people in the UK are getting really angry because they look back. Okay, they're like, hey, in the last 10 years. I can't remember the exact figure. I think it was like 200 billion or something. The energy companies in the UK issued 200 billion in dividends to all of the shareholders, right?
Right.
So people are like, well, you know, because they're all publicly listed companies, there's nothing stopping them from doing that. It's like sharing the profits with their shareholders. But obviously, as we know, most of the shareholders are the, you know, top wealthy individuals. And so a lot of people obviously don't reap the benefits, and they were like, why don't, you know, those companies divert that money to like cleaner energy or maybe energy rebates for people instead of just saying, hey, we've profited so much this year that we're going to dish it out as dividends. you know, instead of like, you know, so you're right. There are things that could be done and I think one of the big arguments with a lot of these places, like, and in the UK specifically, they were saying, and I'm not saying that this is the answer either, guys, but they were like, we should nationalize energy because it's a public need.
I think so.
Like, it's something that everybody needs.
Absolutely.
So it shouldn't be like companies privately profiting off
it really shouldn't be.
Yeah.
Like, people need it to survive.
Yeah.
Okay? These are working people that pay tax. They need energy to survive.
Yeah.
And also, there should be laws against such large price hikes all of a sudden.
Yeah.
Like, isn't that illegal to some degree? Like, I don't know.
Well, I think it should be. Like, I don't think you should be allowed to increase the cost of your goods.
Yeah.
That ridiculously fast, right? Like, it's
and we're not talking about shoes. We're talking about like gas. We're talking about like fucking heating.
Exactly. Heating for people's homes. We're talking about,
and in the winter, it's going to be cold.
Yeah. We're talking about refrigerators for storage, stoves for cooking food. Like, these are all things that people need to like survive.
It's crazy.
So I don't know what's going to happen.
I don't know what's going to happen either.
Because especially like, guys, we're entering into winter in Europe.
Yeah. I know.
But
and it's going to be cold.
Yeah. But like a bunch of people are saying like the whole concept behind the energy protest, or what people are saying is like, oh, if enough people rally together and all decide, even if they can afford it, to not pay their bills.
Yeah.
Like, and everyone just stops, it's going to hit the energy companies so hard that they're going to have to respond.
Oh, yeah. I mean.
But then I guess they could just shut off energy to those people that don't pay their bills, right?
Yeah. Can you imagine?
Oh my God. It's getting crazy, guys.
It's fucking insane. Well, it says that some people are saying stop the war because one of the reasons they say there's a huge hike in the price is because of Russia and the war. So because of it says here, the German government's energy policy and sanctions against Russia because of what Russia's doing to Ukraine. That's one of the reasons. Now, I don't think it's that simple. I'm pretty sure there's things that the government could do. Okay. Even if they had a sanction. I'm sorry. I feel like there has to be. I don't know.
Well, and also like, you know, like other countries, like I think it was France. I'm pretty sure it's France that, their energy prices aren't going up that much. This is part of the argument for nationalized energy. Right. Because I think a lot of France's energy is nationalized. Oh. It's either nationalized or they have like restrictions whereby they can only increase it by a certain amount.
See, that's what I'm saying. They need to do that.
It's like, I think it's like 4 or 5% or something.
They need to do this.
Yeah. And I don't know why anyone else isn't. It's like with, which I think this should be in place in most major cities as well, is with rental units. Okay. And price increases as well. Right. Like if you're a tenant at a place and then the next year there should be a cap as to how much your landlord is allowed to increase your rent on you. It shouldn't just be like a free for all. In some places it's capped where that's like, okay, they like for an ongoing tenant, they're only allowed to increase like 2% a year or something. Yeah. You know what I mean? Because like lately, especially even in like Calgary, landlords are like, oh, by the way, your rent's going to go up like $500.
Yeah. It's ridiculous.
And it's like, what?
So that's the thing. It's not even just the gas and the energy that's going up. Everything's gone up. Yeah. So that's an extra cost. Exactly. Right? It's not just the energy, right? Like groceries are going up. Like every little thing has increased in price, yet people are not getting paid more. Yeah. So basically people are fucked. And
it's like an ongoing thing. And I wonder how many of these, it's like we're in a really crazy place right now.
It's fucking
guys.
Crazy.
Like I'm scared.
Like it's insane.
I know we talked about this again before, but like stock market crashing, interest rates going through the roof, you know, energy crises around all over Europe. It's like global warming still happening, but like, you know, we have so much shit going on that I'm just like, oh my God.
Yeah, we're fucked.
Like, is this like the catalyst, guys? And I don't want to be like too doomsday right now. Like
you're very doomsday
lately. Well, I'm in a bad mood today, so that's probably why. But is this like the catalyst of like, this is what our life is going to become? Like this, like kind of crazy
dystopian future.
I told you about my dystopian, like crazy, like moment. Did you have
a nightmare? After you watched Jeffrey Dahmer.
Well, no, it wasn't. No, that was a different situation.
What was your dystopian nightmare?
I was just thinking about how it would be so crazy. I was watching, like, this was a while ago. I saw like a couple episodes of Walking Dead, and I was like, oh my God, like, what would happen if one day we woke up and like our society that we've constructed ceased to exist?
Oh God, Daniel, why you be so like, dark?
You still have your house,
dark
Rose,
as hell.
But then you'd have to probably get some things to like fend off people trying to get in here. All kinds of stuff.
So basically living in The Walking Dead?
Yeah. Like, and then where would you get your food if everything shut down?
Oh God, this is why, I take zombie shows. I watch sparingly. Okay. It puts you in a dark place.
But even with The Walking Dead, I'm not like thinking that we're going to have like zombies, but just the fact of because the way that it worked is
because
like,
once you lose all the money or
Exactly.
like once people start
'cause,
breaking
like,
down.
no one had money, like
Right.
money just,
And then you just start fighting each other.
exactly. There was no, grocery stores. Well, grocery stores, everything just shut down.
Right.
There was no power.
Right.
There was no like anything. And imagine like, how would we even live?
This is why we should learn how to live off the land.
Oh, God damn. This is scary, guys. But I'm obviously like extremist right now, but I'm
Yeah.
like, it just like seems like there's so many things catapulting. And it's interesting because like some people are saying that we're like on the precipice of like a revolution.
I mean, there should be a revolution. I'm surprised that there isn't.
Yeah. And it's more of like a revolution against like capitalism.
Yes.
So
The thing is, though, it's really interesting because I think that back, like, let's say French Revolution, people were so desperate, and also we didn't have as many distractions at that time. Not we, but like, you
Yeah.
know, people did not have
true.
so many distractions. I feel like now it's like people are, it's so much harder of a society right now to plan and organize a revolution.
True.
It almost has to be like so bad that it's the only option.
Well, you say that interestingly. And in our time zone,
In our time,
in the last couple of
Yeah.
years, actually last year this happened. And it was like kind of a revolution. It was a mini one, obviously not
What
on
was
a
the
global
revolution?
scale. It had to do with, remember, GameStop, the stock
that's
GameStop.
not really a revolution, is it?
But it was getting enough retail investors together to kind of go
Right.
against the hedge funds.
Right.
So it kind of was. And a lot of people that were holding the stock or buying the stock, they were saying like, I don't care how much money I lose. I don't care. I'm sticking it to the man.
It's, can
And-
we really call that a revolution, though?
Well, maybe not like a revolution, but like I think it woke people up to a sense
Sure.
that like there is power in numbers and the retail
I'm
investors.
thinking a revolution. Maybe my idea of a revolution is like fucking Les Mis, like fucking French Revolution. Vive la France!
Yeah, but that was back in the olden days, Rose. We're now in a digital.
Now we're in a digital
society.
revolution.
So it's a different
You're right.
revolution.
You could call that a digital revolution.
Exactly, against some of the and it was funny because I actually watched a documentary recently on it, and the people that were interviewed were talking about it, and it actually did really feel more like a revolution because a lot of the people that were talking about it, well, one, there was a few different factors, like people saw an opportunity here because this stock was
That's the thing.
they did see an opportunity.
Let's
But-
not sugarcoat it too
No,
much.
at the same time, they saw this opportunity. Part of the reason that they jumped on it so heavily and so quickly was because it was going to fuck up the same like people that like got away from the financial crisis like
Sure.
quite easily. And a lot of the people that were interviewed were like, my parents lost their house in the financial crisis. My parents did all this stuff. And all of these like banks and institutions really just got a slap on the wrist.
Sure.
There wasn't huge monetary penalties and stuff. It seemed they got a lot of bailouts and shit.
Yeah.
The government, again, the people, us taxpayers had to pay for them for all of the things that they because the system would collapse otherwise.
Yeah. But the question is, did it change anything?
No, that's the thing.
There you go. So I think I would call it a revolution if they went beyond just doing that part, like doing the GameStop, whatever.
Yeah.
And then when nothing changed, then people fought for more changes.
Yeah.
Then I would call it a revolution.
Yeah.
But it stopped at, okay, it was a story for about a few weeks. I should watch this documentary.
You should. It is crazy to me though when you just think about the financial crisis
Yes.
and like you watch documentaries on it and like the what is it, The Big Short or something?
Yeah.
All
Oh, so
of this.
insane.
It is. And then at the end, it's like, it was funny because they actually made a mockery of it in that Big Short.
Yeah.
And he was like, yeah, thousands of people, high ups in the banks were arrested, all these people. And then he was like,
No,
just
that
kidding.
didn't happen.
That never happened.
One guy got arrested.
Yeah, one guy.
Well, that's what's
And I'm like,
interesting
how is there no consequence there?
because also we can't have a revolution. That's the thing. I feel like we're in our society, we are not capable of organizing a revolution. Because after that financial crash, which literally impacted so many people in Canada and in the US, mostly in the US, but also
Yeah.
in Canada, still there was no revolution.
Yeah.
I mean, there was like Occupy Wall Street or something.
Yeah. But also, on top of that, I was like, after that happened,
Yeah.
like they say that they've put more like stuff in place, but have they really? Like
Not
it sounds
really.
like the banks are continuing
Yeah.
on. You know what I mean?
that's the thing. Also, I feel like it's so hard to have an actual revolution because there's so much to lose, right? Like people are busy going to work. We got to put food on the table.
Exactly.
It's like when we start to like, that's why we almost have to be at a point where there's nothing to lose.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's what sparked revolutions back in the day. It's like people that are poor, they had nothing to fucking lose.
Yeah. Well, and I mean, look what's happening though, like in Europe and stuff like this.
Yeah.
Like if these prices continue to
That's
go
the
up,
thing. Now
people will have nothing to lose.
Exactly.
Because going to work, because you're right. Once it gets to the point where energy bills and groceries and rent is more than what you earn at work.
Yeah.
How do you live?
Yeah.
You just can't. At that point, you become angry and pissed off. You're working 40 hours a week.
Yeah.
You can't even pay for your costs. Even if you're trying to live frugally.
Oh, God damn.
Like your bills
Is
are
there
too
gonna be
high,
a
your
revolution?
energy, like, I don't know. I'll be a doomsday talker today, guys.
Oh, God.
It's just like,
It's really interesting.
it's just like interesting. And I'm just like wondering what is going to happen. Do you know what I mean? Like,
At
I'm
what
like,
point will there be a real
catalyst.
revolution?
Yeah.
I don't know, man.
Because I feel like we're definitely heading in that
Yeah.
direction. So,
Well, that's the thing. I feel like modern capitalism has really done a great job at marketing itself as like, because another reason why there might not be a revolution, or, you know, it's hard to have a revolution nowadays, is that people just think there's, like, I feel like back in the day, again, I keep comparing back, but because I need to compare to revolutions back in the day, where it's like people were in power, people were rich as fuck, and then there was like really fucking poor people, right? So it's like even the idea of like somebody that's really poor, the idea of becoming super rich and powerful is impossible.
yeah.
But what capitalism has sold to us, partially a lie, mostly
Yeah,
a lie,
mostly a
is
lie.
that it is possible for people at the bottom to go up there.
Yeah.
So instead of revolting against the top, they want to
Aspire
be the top.
Yeah.
So that's what's happening in the United States, for example. It's
Yeah.
like, you know, the poorest people are the ones voting Republican.
Mm-hmm.
It sounds ridiculous, but that's because they want to be, you know, like, why did they put Donald Trump as president? Because they aspire to be like him.
Yeah.
Instead of saying, this guy's fucking us over, they're thinking, I want to be like this guy.
Yeah.
So I think you have to change that. Like, there's always that little hope that, like, oh, I'm going to become rich one day,
Yeah.
you know.
Well,
But maybe it'll change with this fucking crazy ass shit happening.
who knows? People are getting angry though.
I mean, I
People are
would
getting
be
very angry.
livid.
Yeah.
Are you fucking kidding me?
Like we're lucky. Like our energy bills have gone up, but not that much.
That's what I'm saying. I'm scared.
Yeah.
God
But I also
damn.
feel like I think in some ways we'll be a little bit sheltered from energy prices.
Yeah.
Only because we're a big producer.
We're in Canada. Yes.
Yeah. So, but if we weren't, then I'd be more scared.
I know.
Then I'd be like, but who knows? Even in Canada, right? But like because we produce it here, I think
What's happening in like Sweden, Norway, those places?
I don't know.
Because, you know, they kind of, you know, they probably aren't surging the prices.
But also Norway is a really big producer of energy.
Right.
Which I'm like, because I know they have like off the coast of Norway in the North Sea, there's like a bunch of like oil rigs and all this kind of stuff. Like they have, and that's how Norway's so wealthy.
Yeah.
Because they have a lot of energy
Right.
companies and things like that. So
Fucked up.
Yeah, it's gonna be.
How do we make this world where people are like, oh, look at this oil. This is mine. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's fucking natural resource, bitch.
I know, but it's like the same thing when you could say that with everything, right? Like
With water,
exactly.
land.
Someone's like, oh, this land is mine
Yeah.
now. Now I'm going to use it to make money and I'm going to rent it to other people.
Yes, it's fucked.
It's wild.
Goddamn, guys, this world be fucked.
Oh God, I'm not sure if you're ready for the next story, Rose.
Oh God, is it darker than this one?
Yes.
Okay, lay it on me.
Oh God.
Lay it on me. What the fuck?
Did you
I
hear
have
about
not
this?
heard of this one.
So I heard about it the other day, guys.
Okay, so
And-
apparently this is a story from Thailand.
Yeah.
Many children among dead in nursery attack.
Yeah. So
A nursery?
apparently an ex-policeman has killed at least 37 people. Most of them are children in a gun and knife attack at a child care center in northeast Thailand. Yeah. Police say he then killed himself and his family after a manhunt
my-
following the attack in this province in Thailand. Children and adults are among the casualties at the nursery. I mean, this is a nursery, guys. Like
What is wrong with? Oh, okay, continue.
like so sad.
Why?
Yeah.
Do we know why? Why a nursery?
No idea.
Like, not that this would be okay anywhere, but
See, it says the former officer, aged 34 years old, same age as us.
Oh, goddamn. Daniel, I keep forgetting I'm 34.
Damn. Oh.
How would I be 34?
I don't know. Was sacked in June for drug use, police say. It's not clear if there was any motive for the attack. At least 23 children were among the dead in this mass killing in a town. Some victims, aged as young as 2, were attacked as they slept.
What the fuck? A dozen people who were injured have been taken to the hospital. Head teacher said the attacker's son attended the center, but had not been there for a month. The man used to drop his child off and was always polite and chatty. And apparently there are usually more than 90 children at the school, but just over 20 were present on Thursday due to bad weather and a school bus breakdown.
Thank God for that.
And yet he still managed to kill that many people?
Yeah.
Oh my God. Why?
Like, it's just insane. Like, I mean,
I know people go insane, but like, what the fuck is going on in your head that you're doing this?
I know, especially to
children,
like while they were sleeping, like young kids as they were sleeping.
Like, what compels people to do these mass attacks? Like, I don't get it.
I don't know. Like, I honestly think like some people, again,
is it notoriety?
I don't know if it's notoriety. I think that there are legitimately like some people that have, there's something switched in their brain. You know what I mean? Like their brain is just like not,
right.
Like I was watching
I mean, it has to be.
Yeah.
There's no one that's normal. This is why I find the whole like, I understand why the insanity plea is there and stuff, but I find it kind of interesting because in my head, no one in their right state of mind does this,
Well,
right?
of
Whether or
course.
not you are aware that you're doing it, no one in your right state of mind is doing this. So everyone that does something like this is insane.
Exactly. They've had
It's
something.
insane.
Yeah.
Now, the level of insanity may differ, but no one in their right mind is shooting people.
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck?
Well, not even just people. I mean, it is people,
Yes, but like
children,
kids.
like kids, guys.
Oh, that's so fucking sad. My God.
Yeah.
Why kids? Why people in general, but why kids? It's always fucking children. Is it just because it's like a place where they know there's going to be a lot of people? Is that why school shootings are a thing?
I don't know. Maybe.
It's like a big gathering of people.
And I think it's just because, and I could be wrong about this, guys, but I think just thinking conceptually about it, like generally schools are more vulnerable and stuff.
It's vulnerability. That's what it is.
Because if you think about it, like, for example, during the workday, an office would be full of people.
Yeah.
But an office would be, I feel like, and I'm sure shootings do happen at those as well, it's a lot harder, one, to enter the building.
Right.
Because I think there's
more security.
Which I'm thinking schools are starting to get more security and stuff. But
yeah,
historically, like I think about the schools I went to, like junior high.
There's
and
no
stuff,
fucking security.
You could just walk in.
Anyone can walk in.
Exactly. So that's part of it.
Right.
Whereas all office buildings, you have to have a key card to get in.
Yes.
And then you have to have a key card to get to the floor that you want to get to.
Right.
So all of these like checks and balances, and at least even for the school, it's like maybe once you get past the front security desk, it's like all the rooms are there.
Yeah.
So it becomes a lot easier, I think, for someone wanting to do like a huge. And I could be completely wrong about this, but I think that's part of the reason. And also
because like kids are an easy target.
Exactly. Because again, if you going back to the office example, if they broke into an office with a ton of adults, chances are there'd be people that would try to get involved to stop the shooters, right?
Yeah.
Or, not saying that kids wouldn't do that, but kids are so much smaller and
they're easier
targets, right? Like kids will be freaking out and like
the fuck?
Yeah.
My God. This is fucked up, man.
It's crazy.
It's fucked up.
It's just really sad. It's just unnecessary loss. And then he killed his whole family as well.
Oh God, I don't like, what is going on in your brain? Man, invest in mental health, people.
Exactly. I think
it's insane.
I think that's a lesson to be learned, is that,
that's literally the root of all of these issues. Like the mental health issue.
Yeah.
Okay. Not excusing his behavior. I'm just saying like,
well, because a lot of them will say, oh, like the devil was speaking to me and was telling me to do these things, or just like random shit like this.
People actually go like, that's the level of insanity.
Exactly. They'll be like, oh, I was compelled to do this because I had to, because if I didn't do it, they were going to do something. And like they actually get warped in their brain.
Like
so
that sometimes happens. And then sometimes it's something else. I don't know, but God damn.
So it's interesting because it sounds like this police officer, he was.
Oh, he is understood to have appeared in court on Thursday on charges related to the use and possible sale of methamphetamine.
Yeah.
So he could have been high.
He could have been high. That's one. Also, heavy drug use. Again, I don't know if he's a heavy drug user, but heavy drug use, especially of meth, and some of these harder drugs, but on a really, really a lot, can cause in some people, not everyone, but can cause psychosis and also like mental breakdowns as well. Because of the drug, because of what it does to your brain and stuff. So it could be many reasons. You're right. He could have been high, didn't know what he was doing, and just kind of, went on a rampage.
In Thailand? I feel like this kind of stuff doesn't really happen in Thailand.
I don't think it does happen very often.
Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know.
God, and you were just there, Rose.
I know. I was just there. God damn it. Be a beautiful ass country. Be sad as hell.
That is so sad.
Fucking hell. Children. Are you fucking kidding me?
And that's what bothers me is like whenever it's kids, I'm just always like, it hits me a little bit harder. Because I'm just like, I'm like, oh, those are children.
They've never even had a chance.
I know you you took that away from them. They're
like the most vulnerable too.
Yeah.
Ugh. Anyway, that's just sad. I just had to pick the saddest story of all time. God damn, Daniels, it'd be so sad.
Sad as hell.
God damn, what else? What other shit story do we have? What other shit is happening in this godforsaken world? Oh, I heard about this. Amazon. Oh, in
our
the news
favorite
again.
Yep.
Amazon suspends at least 50 workers after fire protest. There was a fire. Was it in a warehouse?
I haven't been following this too
closely. And people were like,
closely.
I'm not going to come to work or something along those lines. And then they're like, actually, you have to.
Yeah. According to union organizers, Amazon had suspended at least 50 warehouse workers who refused to work their shifts following a trash compactor fire at one of its New York facilities.
Which is a safety hazard. Yeah. So it is understandable. So it says, Amazon has suspended at least 50 warehouse employees who refused to work their shifts. And the company suspended the workers with pay on Tuesday, a day after the fire disrupted operations. Yeah.
So I guess it's not that bad if they're dismissing them, but I guess they're saying refuse to work. So they're suspending the workers with pay. So they're suspended.
For how long?
I know. Were sent home due to a fire which began, but night shift employees who were just coming in for their shift were told to remain in a break area until management figured out the situation. Dozens of workers began to raise concerns about safety. Some worried the air in the facility would be unsafe to breathe. Eventually, roughly 100 workers were held a sit-down protest, demanding to be sent home with pay. So that's probably they responded to that.
But then why are they suspended with pay?
Yeah.
It says, while the vast majority of employees reported to their workstations, a small group refused to return to work and remained in the building without permission. Some workers had also walked out while others continued to protest. And the suspended workers were notified by email and phone that their security badges would be inactive during the duration of the probe. The suspensions are in effect indefinitely as the company investigates. The number of suspended workers could rise, and an attorney for the union said the workers intend to file unfair labor practice charges against Amazon. My confusion, maybe I don't understand employer situations. So if you're because they refuse to work, but then they don't have to work and they're going to pay them, aren't they giving them what they wanted?
Well, then I wonder if a suspension, and they're saying they're launching this investigation, they're suspended to see if they've been doing misconduct or something, and then they'll get fired maybe.
Right.
So I think that's maybe what it is.
Right.
I think it's different to say, hey, you're sent home with pay until we figure out what's happened versus we're going to suspend you.
Yeah.
With pay.
It's like a negative thing.
Exactly. So I think that, and then
so
also
they could potentially get fired.
Exactly. Because it sounds like it says it was the people who were protesting, and the suspended workers were notified by email and phone that their security badges are inactive. Right. So it's not even just that, and so
they're being basically suspended for protesting.
Exactly. Well, and then it says the suspensions are in effect indefinitely as the company investigates.
Right.
So they're just going to keep them, but they are getting paid. So I mean,
for how long? We
exactly.
Don't know.
That's the thing. We're like, how it's a mess. Amazon's a mess.
They're a fucking mess.
Yeah, I don't understand.
People, it was a fire.
I know.
That's a concern.
But it's like when that story came out about how Amazon workers, the drivers and stuff, they had to pee in those
because they didn't have
cups.
time. Yeah.
Because they
like
were
water bottles or something.
Yeah, because they're like, we don't have time to like stop, or we don't have time to like do these like normal things because we're so much pressure
Yeah.
to get these deliveries done like so fast.
It's so crazy.
Yeah, like in some ways, like we're part of the problem.
We
like
are.
in a sense, like I like to use Amazon sometimes because
it's fast.
it's so fast.
Oh God, I know.
But I have started actually, to be honest, like especially like now that I've bought my place, I've still ordered some stuff from Amazon, but also I try to like get it from like other places too. Like I'll like look around, and if I can only find it on Amazon or it's like a substantially cheaper, then I'll.
Yeah,
I
know. It's just so
but
annoying.
I hate it.
Well, they've created a world where it's like they almost force us to use the platform, and it's like the most convenient one. It's the, you know what I mean? What I try to do, which I don't know if it does anything, is I try not to do like the 1 day shipping or like the rush shipping.
Especially if you don't need it.
If I don't need it, then I'll just get it like whatever normal ground, whatever it is.
Yeah, I do the same thing. Cause like, I'm like,
yeah,
unless it's something I need tomorrow, like really the 1 day shipping, I'm like, that's totally fine. I can have this in a week. Like
it's just, but yeah, like they're giving us more and more reason to not use it. But again, they've created a world where it's like, if you don't use it, there's a lot of disadvantages to not using it.
Well, like one of the disadvantages, like you can get all the stuff probably that you could order off Amazon.
And it's going to be more expensive.
It's going to be more expensive. You're going to have to drive around the city or look around the city to get it.
You have to shop from different stores.
Exactly. You have to look around, do all this. They've made this like so convenient for us.
I
but
know. Oh, we need a competitor that'll actually treat their employees like better.
But I mean, maybe that's... Oh my God. Sorry, guys. Yeah, I guess like... I guess I just like, I wonder, like, and I don't wonder, I'm sure that there's a reasonable answer for this, but like, do companies like Amazon, like, it's not necessary for them to treat their employees so terribly to be successful, you know?
I think maybe what they've created, it is. I don't know. Fucking hell.
Like, I don't know. I'd be on the fence to say, like, if it was a great place to work and, you know, people were happy to be there, would be a different discussion.
But I think the reason why they became so successful is not coincidental. Like they had to probably kill off all the competition.
It's like I remember we used to study Walmart as like a business case study in university, and they were talking about how like a lot of local communities, more like small towns and stuff, they'll often what is it called? They'll often protest or go against having a Walmart open in their area.
Yeah.
And it's because it like kills a lot of the local stores, first of all. And then also it's because it came out like, and I think this is well known that Walmart is just really aggressive with their suppliers. So like just to get their lower costs and be part of their like business model, right? So you could be a supplier of like, I don't know, this shirt, for example. And we could come up to you and be like, give us this shirt. We're going to buy such a large quantity from you because we're Walmart. Yeah. But your usual price is this. No, slash it in half. This is like, and put so much pressure on these, you know, sometimes even smaller companies that are like trying to like, you know, and they end up going out of business, you know, like, cause they're like, well, we can't.
But at the same time, it's like, they'll give you an offer that is not great, but you can't refuse it. Yeah.
So you're kind of torn.
Yeah.
And I think the biggest thing is that it does kill local business.
Totally.
Because like you said, I mean, going to like a one-stop shop, it's like more convenient for us and stuff. But then you look and like, I think where I used to live in Newcastle, I think Newcastle's a perfect example. They have like in the center of Newcastle, there's this place that's like a big market basically. And every year I feel like it gets smaller and smaller because of all the big box retail stores and things like that. And like I went there and I was like, oh my God, like even lately, and I went back and I was like, it seems smaller than I remember. Like a lot of stores have closed down in there because they have like local fish suppliers and like, not that I'm going there, but like, you know, local baker, all this stuff, like all in a kind of convenient area. And it's like, yeah, I don't know.
Yeah. So sad. So yes, anyways. On that positive note.
Goddamn, on that positive note, guys. This is a crazy, crazy week.
Oh, guys. Give us some hope in the comments. Yeah. Okay.
Make us feel a little better.
What was this Souls? What was that? What was that story?
This is about a nuclear weapon.
Oh God, let's not. Okay, you know what? I've had enough bad stories, guys.
This be about a nuclear.
Some North Korean, South Korean drama as usual.
Oh God.
Fucking hell.
Anyway,
no more of that talk.
No more drama, guys.
Hope you enjoyed this depressing ass episode.
God damn.
Sorry to probably put a
damper on your
beautiful day.
God.
Thank you so much for listening. Make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel if you're watching on YouTube. Give this video a big thumbs up. If you are listening on any other podcast platform, make sure you follow us. Give us a little rating. And make sure you check out our Patreon, patreon.com/TheSaVeg
Perfect, Rose. I couldn't have said it any better myself.
And I will talk to you guys. Well, we'll talk to you guys next week, but I will talk to you guys when I'm back.
Yes. Have a good trip, Rose.
Thank you.
All right. Bye, guys.
Okay, bye.
Bye.